Drag queens. Are they morally and legally okay? Even though some people will deny it, everybody is required to answer religious questions because they affect us. In this video, we are going to look at a comparison of how the evangelical and the humanist view the LGBT community according to their axiom. The evangelicals' axiom is the Bible. The humanists' axiom is humanism, which is comprised of groups like atheists, proclaimed secularists, progressives, or any other that refer to modern man's ideas to rationalize things that cannot be proven. Here's the religious topic. Is the LGBT morally okay for our society? According to the evangelicals' axiom, the Bible says that God created man and woman to have unity in one flesh, and that this is the base of the family institution. The Bible also says homosexuality is an abomination, and that salvation through Jesus Christ is to leave sin and not indulge in it. And the Bible says the effeminate will not inherit the kingdom of heaven. The Bible also goes on to say, after death you go to one of two places, heaven or hell. The evangelical is also concerned about the issue because of the historical account of Sodom and Gomorrah, where God destroyed the city with fire and brimstone because of his wrath towards homosexuality. The humanist's ideas are comprised of his own and or other people's ideas, not what God says, and many like atheists will deny that God even exists. Humanists often interpret the Bible using their own ideas instead of the spoken meaning. They believe that God is not the highest authority and that their own self is. That means what humanists think is right to them is right, and what is wrong to them is wrong, no matter what God commanded. Since God is not the highest authority, then it's okay for a man to marry another man. It's okay to receive the same benefits as a biblical marriage, and that all people, regardless of their axiom, should accept their ways. They will often associate those who disagree as hatred and bigotry. Then there are the compromise humanists, those who go to church and believe there is a God, but still follow their own ideas and frequently suggest God is love and God is accepting to all. However, it's important to note, hermeneutically, the Bible speaks about homosexuality literally and not figuratively. When addressed the correct meaning of the Bible by other Christians, they will often call them bullies and assert that they are living in the Dark Ages. Humanists believe in subjective truth that humans are born in many genders and one can be and should be identified as whatever they prefer. So what is the science behind all this? Science in the past cannot be proven. For example, you cannot prove the origin of the universe. However, science in the present can be tested, retested, and made falsifiable. We can scientifically observe the biological makeup of humans and the statistical results of living an LGBT lifestyle. We observe it takes a male and a female to reproduce. We observe all humans are born with male reproductive organs or female reproductive organs, and these organs do not interchange in nature, but require man to change and manipulate them. In order to change completely from a male to a female, or a female to a male, one would have to change the entire genetic makeup. This means the body, bone structure, vocals, and every living cell that contains billions of strands of DNA. But transgenders are mainly only interested in reproductive changes due to sexual perversions, fantasies, and obsessions of being the other sex. Now the statistics. Children who don't grow up with a mother and father have been proven to be less successful, and a higher number of these children end up in jail. LGBT have a history of mental illness, of sex perversion, and rape. This puts children who are adopted by same-sex couples at a much higher risk. Children are an astonishing 11 times more likely to be touched sexually by LGBT parents than those of biological parents. And sadly, LGBT have a much higher risk to commit suicide and drug overdose. After scientifically and statistically observing the LGBT community, one may ask, should LGBT even be legal in America? This depends on your axiom, because it requires a historical interpretation of the Constitution and Establishment Clause. And as we know, history is also interpreted based on one's axiom. For example, the evangelical will say homosexuality is not legal because it promotes moral relativism. Our forefathers established our morals and principles according to the authority of the Bible and not moral relativism. If you're not sure what moral relativism is, think of it this way. It's when morality can always change and evil can be accepted as morally okay. For example, in the 1940s, it was morally okay to kill Jews in Germany. Morality for killing in America has also changed over the decades, as today humanists believe it is morally okay for doctors to kill unborn babies. However, when morals are set, such as in the Bible, killing of the innocent has always been wrong and will forever be wrong. Not only was abortion morally wrong and now accepted by society, but also the LGBT community. One would ask if child pedophile will be the next accepted moral issue. However, the evangelical believes that mankind was corrupted by sin and that mankind in general is wicked, and allowing moral relativism only makes the world more dangerous as evil is more accepted as morally right. The humanists will say LGBT is legal because they interpret the meaning of religion as any belief system except humanism, and therefore the Establishment Clause gives them the right to make anything moral. We already see states that have accepted same-sex marriage and gender neutrality. Why? Because according to Pew Research, these states are overwhelmingly humanist. However, conservative states do not have to accept this because their values and worldview are different. They don't have to interpret religion in the Constitution as humanists today impose, but rather what religion meant when the Constitution was written. The same applies for the Establishment Clause. This is the beauty of a democracy. Now, for the first time since 1936, the Supreme Court majority is conservative. Churches can organize to meet and discuss their concerns, especially the concern that their city is allowing moral relativism. City councils can agree that LGBT promotes moral relativism and this is not accepted in the community. Ordinances can be written to block public events that promote LGBT and moral relativism, such as drag queens in public libraries. Because of moral issues like the LGBT, America is now in a culture war where two perceptions from two different axioms are colliding, the Bible and humanism.